We're here today with Redmond, CEO and co-founder of Hippo. Hippo thought leadership process is so different. We want to talk today about what that is and what that means.
You know, you may come in not knowing what you want to talk about, which is fine because our editorial team has done the research and they are walking into that conversation knowing about you, knowing about your business. That is really, really helpful because when you come in and say, you know, I have this great idea about how artificial intelligence will change lives for pets in the next 10 years. Our team is in a position to say either A, wow, that's really interesting, or B, you know, that's an interesting idea, but I hate to break it to you, 5 other people are already writing about this. Do you have an angle that's different or new? In our best relationships, we come in and say, hey, you know, not only are you spot on about artificial intelligence changing the lives of pets, but there are 3 new studies that just came out of Princeton about police dog training that support your point.
We create content that is going to get engagement. So like, what's an example of some kind of a nuance that you've brought in or that we brought into an article that's helped it to get placed and to get read?
Sure, so what we always say is that attention spans are really short. You're competing with Facebook, you're competing with text messages, and at any moment, someone can look away from your piece of content into something else and start shopping on Guilt or Rent the Runway. And so because of that, you have to be really engaging, you have to be really smart, you have to be incisive, and you have to give the audience something that they do not know.
So once the draft process is complete, then what?
So once the draft process is complete, that's your opportunity to give feedback, and most of the time you'll say like, oh, this is great, hey, change this paragraph, I don't like this, oh, please don't reference this competitor. Once we've made those changes, we'll go ahead and give you a final draft, and once we're finished, then you sit back and relax and we pitch it.
So let's talk a little bit about the pitch process. How does that work?
We've talked to you at this point about what your target publications are. We've built a list of sort of the top tier and the middle tier and the trade publications. And then we start our outreach and we'll get feedback back. We would make those micro tweaks, then we run it, sit back and enjoy your success.
People ask, do you just pitch? If I give you an article, will you pitch it for me?
Sure. So our end goal is you with your own column for Forbes or Entrepreneur, TechCrunch, or VentureBeat. And how we get there really has to be through our own process. We do a ton of work just to be sure that the idea we're starting with is an idea that people will be interested in, that readers will read and share, and that editors will want to publish. And that's all something that you won't get the benefit of if you're just submitting a piece for us to pitch.
Can you describe the engagement that we help with around the piece?
We always will go ahead and help promote content. We'll promote it organically. If you'd like, we can promote it in paid forums as well. Both can be really impactful. If it's running in a large publication, sometimes it doesn't even need that. And the numbers you can expect, you know, we've had pieces certainly do as well as 20 to 30,000. Probably the average ones are sort of at a couple thousand views and shares, but it depends on the topic, obviously.
I get asked all the time, who are your subject matter experts? Who are those academics? Do you have a specialty? And how do you answer that question?
Sure, so when Kate and I founded the company, the first order of business for us was to build this academic network. So before we even started to do content and thought leadership, we were out there at universities, generally top 10, sometimes top 20, certainly all of the Ivies, recruiting subject matter experts into our academic network. And so through this process, we ended up with a network of 1,000+ individuals who cover a vast array of subject areas, and if they don't know something or they don't have something, they will always know someone that does. You could have the best writer in the world, but no one person can possibly cover the number of sectors that our academics will cover. They're not going to know that this new physics report just came out. They're not going to know that something similar happened in the 50s. And chances are they may not be able to find it either, even if they're doing an amazing job of researching. And so the way that we really build the teams, they function so that there's a super powerful writer, there's a fabulous editor, and there's also a researcher who really knows the space and can understand it and can say, hey, you know, this is what you should do to make this story deeper or more interesting, or like, man, you guys are really on the surface here. People that know the space will want something with more depth and meatiness to it. No one has one person on staff that's capable of fulfilling all of those functions.
If you're interested in learning about what thought leadership could do specifically for you, we think really the best thing is to have an individual call, which then turns into a content strategy session to understand how exactly this can benefit you and your organization.
And thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to helping you reach your goals.